Continuing our coverage of 2025 Volleyball Media Days, how about the average attendance for the Washington Huskies last year? Over 3,600 per match. That is the highest in program history. And speaking of program history, how about the Husky head coach, Leslie Gabriel, with us, part of 653 wins now for Washington as a player, assistant coach, and head coach. 19 of those wins coming a year ago. Leslie, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
We're excited to have you back. As you look back at last year, a very different start and finish, obviously 13-0 out of the gates, then you ran into a really tough schedule late in the year. How do you evaluate the season as a whole and use it looking forward to 2025?
Yeah, last year was a big learning year for all of us, new teams in the conference. And for sure, I learned a ton as a head coach. I thought that our team did a really good job of getting into some really good routines early on in the season, and to help us continue to keep developing and getting better. And I think as school started and travel picked up, we didn't have the routines that we had earlier in the year. And I think that's something that I learned as a coach, is how can we continue those same routines moving forward in a long season with travel. I also felt like as a coach, I think there's a point in the season where where rest becomes really important. And I felt like I started that trend a little too soon, if that makes sense. And there's a point in the season where just rest is the best, and I felt like I started that process a little sooner than I should have. But going forward, I want our team playing its best volleyball at the end of the year, and so we're going to attack things a little bit differently. We'll go a little bit harder, longer, going into this new year.
It's fascinating to hear you talk about it from a coach's perspective, because most folks think, well, you're evaluating how the team did. Not you're evaluating what the staff may have done correctly or incorrectly. How big of a part of your off-season evaluation is looking at what you and the staff could do differently?
It's part of it, For sure, we're always looking at our players to see how we can help them improve, to help us improve. But we're the ones that put together the practice plans, days off, to help with recovery. And so it's to get the total picture, to help our team. I think we have to look at ourselves too.
I know you received a contract extension in February designed to keep you in Seattle throughout the 2029 season, I believe. First, congratulations. Second, how much does that kind of stability help you and your staff in everything that you're trying to do?
For sure. It makes you just excited to know that your boss, Pat Chun, loves what you're doing with the program and wants to keep you there to continue what we're doing.
Just saw Pat out in Las Vegas at Football Media Days as well. Terrific guy, obviously Big Ten history as well from his time at Ohio State. He knows the job, and he's doing a great job, obviously, at Washington. I know one of your key returners is here with you today as one of your player reps, and Kirsten Barton led your team in kills per set and was top 15 in the Big Ten in that same category last year. How much bigger will Kirsten's role be this year, even than it was a year ago after the departures of players like Amani and Maddie?
It's big, and it's something that her and I have been talking about, that she's now going to have to be the woman for us. Obviously, it's not just one person that can carry the team. We're going to need everyone to do their job and their role, but she understands that. She wants that challenge, and so, we as a staff are going to walk alongside her and help her do this thing.
What do you see from her that tells you that she's ready to take on that larger role?
I just think the willingness, I think it can be pretty scary to know that a lot of people are looking at you to get the point for them, and so just her willingness to go at it, whether she succeeds or fails, she's going to do everything she can to help.
Middle blocker Julia Hunt also here as your other player rep. She finished among the league's top 10 in total blocks last year as a true freshman. So how much room for growth is there in her skill set, and what excites you the most about that?
She's awesome. I loved recruiting that girl, and I'm so fired up that she's a dog and in the gym, but she is the hardest worker. She gets after it in the gym. It's really fun to, in the springtime, we have core values that we go through, and you should hear how her teammates talk about her. How she puts the team first. She does everything for the team. And that's one thing I loved about her recruiting, and that's what's going to help her be successful, is that everything that she does is for this team. And to help them be successful. But as far as just her ability, the kid, I don't know, I think the sky's the limit. I think there are a few things that we can work on mechanically to help her jump higher and maybe hit with some range. I know we're trying to quicken up the set. We ran a slower set tempo to her last year. just to see if we could get some more balls into the quick. But found out in the off season that she does a little bit better with a faster tempo. And so I'm excited to see how that helps her this year.
Well, that's part of what my next question was going to be, in how different you may look this year from a strategic standpoint, how the rotations may vary a little, and with that new personnel, what the new look of Washington Volleyball could be in 2025.
Yeah, we're excited. I'll tell you, I'm really excited about our group. We're not a big group. I think there's 14 of us on the roster, so it's going to, we as a staff have to make sure we're smart and we take care of our bodies. But I do like our personnel. We have Kirsten, who's returning, Julia Hunt, who played for us. We have Alexis Hari, who is a setter, and Zoria, who was a DS for us. So we have a good core coming back, but I also like some of the new players that are coming into the gym for us. We were able to get 2 grad transfers, Alexa Markley from Penn State. Obviously, she's coming off of a national championship. She knows what it takes to be a great player, the demands of that is, and to be a good teammate. And so I'm excited to see her in the gym. We also got Taylor Simpson, setter out of Colorado, who can run a fast offense. You know, we want to see if we can speed up our offense to see if that helps us be more efficient with our side out. And then we were able to pick up an international player, Simona Mateska. And so and then we have some incoming freshman liberos who I think can challenge in the DS spot for us in libero. So I really like our group coming in. For sure it's going to be a little bit different than the crew that we just graduated, but we have some thoughts, like I've already shared some of them, of just speeding up the offense and then continuing to figure out ways to slow our opponents in the Big Ten.
How much was your thought process in the portal to get experience in players who would be instant fits no matter where they came from? Because you look at Alexa and you talked about the fact that she won a national title. You talk about Taylor, 100 career matches during her time at Colorado. So obviously a ton of experience. How much was that a priority, excuse me, for you and your staff in the portal?
For sure it was a priority for us just because we were trying to get more players and we wanted that experience to help us going into this year. Obviously going into the future, we like who's committed, and so we'll see how it goes, but we are super excited about who we have coming in.
I know you talked about maybe changing the rest time, but when you look back on last year, it was the first year for everybody trying to figure out the Big Ten. What was the best part about it? Was it seeing new venues? Was it seeing your players watching and walking into places that they had never been before?
It was, every night was a big venue with lots of fans, you know, and that was a lot of fun. And I think for all the hard work that these girls put in to be able to play in front of big crowds is a big deal, you know. But I think what was even more exciting for me in this was just how much volleyball was on TV. I can't believe every time I turned the TV on that there was a volleyball match, you know, from our conference and other conferences, and that was so exciting to see our sport just explode last year and be everywhere.
How have you seen the popularity? I mean, how do you even describe the popularity growth from your time as a player in Seattle to what we're enjoying right now?
Oh, it's night and day. You know, back when I played, it was tape delayed, you know. I don't think there was very many live matches because they didn't know how to prepare volleyball for TV because it was old school scoring. And so games could go 30 minutes, it could go 3 hours. And so the fact that there's live TV on major networks, I couldn't be more excited as a coach right now in volleyball.
Leslie, I do want to talk about the power of the female coach in this sport.
Yeah.
Kristen Kelsey comes into her alma mater. You're at your alma mater. Danny Busboom Kelly returns to her alma mater. And the Nebraska players were so well spoken yesterday in talking about how empowered they feel to have a female head coach as strong as she is. You look at what Katie Schumacher-Cawley accomplished last year, winning the national championship while battling through cancer. And Kristen said something that really opened my eyes when she looked back at one of the first pictures of a volleyball grouping. Kathy George was the only female head coach in that entire picture. It's very different now. How proud are you to be part of that group?
Oh, I'm proud. And it's funny that you say that because she had mentioned that last night at our dinner, and as we were taking our coach's photo, and all the women were standing behind, and I think there's like 8 head women coaches in our conference, and it's just a lot. I think it's great. You know, here we've all played the sport. We are very passionate about our programs, and we want to help the women in our we want to help empower the women in our program to go on and do great things too, whether that's coaching or playing more volleyball or whatever it is that they're passionate about. But I think it's a big deal to have women coaching women.
Leslie, I want to finish by looking all the way ahead to the end.
Yeah.
What, at the end of the year, would you look back upon and say 2025 was successful for Washington Volleyball?
You know, in our program, we always talk about just, can we get a little bit better? And I felt we did that last year. It would be no different this year. You know, last year we wanted to finish in the top half. We wanted to finish, in the top half of the Big Ten and make it to the NCAA tournament, and we were able to do that. And so can we just be a little bit better than that this year? And I think if we can just stay focused on what we need to do, we'll let the chips land where they're supposed to.
Leslie, Gabriel, thanks for being with us. Look forward to watching you and the Huskies on the floor this season.
Thank you.
Speaking of watching the Huskies on the floor this season, here are some TV times when you can see Washington on the Big Ten Network. And of course, don't forget over 200 overall matches from the league streaming this year on Big Ten Plus. Take a quick break here on Big Ten Volleyball Media Days, but we are back with much more from Washington Volleyball as the Husky player reps talk with Holly and Elena right after this.
Welcome back to Big Ten Media Days. We're still right here talking about Washington Volleyball. We got a sneak peek at their schedule right here for their Big Ten schedule. Both of their two-play opponents are those other West Coast schools that they're pretty familiar with. All three of those other West Coast schools, actually. And we're now joined by those Washington Volleyball players to tell us a little bit about their season. Kirsten Barton, Julia Hunt, welcome to the studio part of Big Ten Media Days. How has the day been so far? Do you have any favorite stations?
Yeah, for me, my favorite station was being able to do the content and like TikTok portion. I love content creation, so just being able to do that was super fun.
Yeah, mine was also the TikTok part. I feel like it was really fun to answer those questions. Really fun.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to log into TikTok later and see what you guys have come up with. You both had some great seasons last year, earning some all-conference honors as well. How can you reflect on your first season playing in the Big Ten? So a little bit about how that adjustment has been, and then just your individual success on the court.
Yeah, for me, it was just really cool being able to play with such great competition all year round, and like every single game had its own challenges, and like even though a team might be easier than the other, it's still the best conference in the country, and we're still playing high-level volleyball every single time we can get to. And I think it's just really cool atmospheres, great people, great community. It's just an awesome experience.
I thought it was awesome too. The big competition is always the best. Like, I didn't get to play in the Pac-12. I just got right into the Big Ten, and it was amazing. And also the travel is so good because I'm not from Washington, so it's like traveling to like the West Coast was awesome.
Julia, for you, do you remember the player Leanna Sabeldin? She was a middle at Washington back in the day.
No, ma'am.
Okay. She hit that
sorry.
same set that you hit as a freshman, and she was excellent, All-American. For your offense, it's going to be faster this season. What do you like about that?
I'm a fast player. Like, I just like getting up and getting the job done immediately. Like, I don't like to waste time. So last year when we did have the slower offense, I was still faster than the other middles, which was like kind of throwing the time off. But now that we have a faster offense, it's like I can just get up and really bang balls left and right and in front of the blockers.
Kirsten, for you, you battled some injuries last year, but came back strong. What have you been focused on this spring and summer leading up into this season?
Yeah, just trying to focus on being able to play like a whole season without, getting injured, and like really working hard in the weight room and the training room and being super consistent with all of that stuff. And then also in practice, like really increasing my reps in serve receive and blocking. I really want to increase those areas of my game because they were lacking a bit. And serving, I really needed to improve that. So just getting to work on that all season or all spring season was just really good for me.
What does the Washington volleyball culture look like?
It's amazing. Like, everybody's family there. I wanted a home away from home, and that's exactly what I get when I'm there. Even Tui, I call her like my second mom. Like, she's just an amazing lady. She cares about you as a person outside the volleyball court and on the volleyball court. Same with the other coaches.
Yeah, I would say the same exact thing. And like, even as teammates, we're very close, and there's not a lot of us, or we don't have 20 to the team. So just being able to get to know one another on a deeper level helps us on the court, and we get to grow like beautiful relationships off the court as well.
I think last year was the first time you sold out your whole arena for a match against Nebraska.
Yes.
And Washington has a great volleyball tradition, so that's a big deal. What did it feel like to play in front of that crowd?
It was amazing. I loved seeing all the people's faces. Unfortunately, my family couldn't come, but it's like all the families that could come and to enjoy either the Huskies or Nebraska. It was like amazing to see all those people come together to watch one game.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer Krista is coming back to your
Yes.
program as an assistant coach. How excited are you guys to have her back in your gym, and what are you most looking forward to learning from her?
I'm really excited to, have someone in my department of the game, being so so knowledgeable of it, and she motivates me every single day to want to come in the gym and work really hard and try my best. And I think as a coach, you need that aspect.
Same, I'm absolutely thrilled. I love Krista. She gives a fiery personality, but she's also like a softie on the inside. So it's like, even in camps, I was so excited to see her just coach the kids. And I was like, wow, I just can't wait for her to coach me the same way and push me to my limits.
What does Washington Volleyball like to do off the court?
Ooh, for me in the summer, I love going on the lake. Our school's right on the lake, so you could just walk there from the facilities, and just being able to, spend time with your teammates and water activities is really cool.
I would say also in the summer, I like going in the lake. It's awesome to jump in the cut. And in the winter, exploring places, when it's rainy, you can just go to a new cafe or go somewhere downtown. It's a big city, so it's awesome to explore.
Yeah.
Are there any matches that you guys have seen on your schedule this season? I know every single match, you probably take it one at a time,
Yes.
but are there any specific matchups that you're most looking forward to or places to travel?
Yeah, I am really interested to travel to Maryland just because a lot of my family lives there, and just being able to see them at my games is really important for me. And also the atmosphere. I heard that Maryland is a cool place to play at, so just seeing that.
I was also going to say Maryland. My family's from that side of the country, so they get to travel up and see me. But for other game, probably Oregon, because one of somebody I played with also plays on Oregon. So
You have some new faces in your program. What's it been like to add them to your group and to your culture, and what have you taught them?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think as a upperclassman now, getting to hang out with the transfers is really cool, and seeing how they add to the program, their personalities, their level of gameplay, and their IQ in the game, I think is really cool for a lot of our younger players on our team. So yeah.
I think they're amazing. They fit right in. Their personalities are so big, but so is everybody else's. And being a sophomore, I can connect with the freshmen, but as well as connecting with the older girls and letting them know the raps of what we do and how we play.
Kirsten, you've been really open so far about your mental health journey, and you even started a podcast about it recently. Can you share a little bit about what that experience has been like for you and how special it is to be able to now share that with other people?
Yeah, I think when I first came into, college athletics, I was so excited. I was ready to, I was had high aspirations. And then this past season, I just went through a lot of hardships with my body, mentally, took a toll. And, over the winter and spring, I kind of figured out what really fulfilled me at the end of the day, and it was connecting with other people and sharing my story and hearing everyone else's story, and being able to help the younger athletes coming into volleyball, realizing that it's okay to have tough days, and your hardships don't define you, and I think that's really important for the younger generation, especially today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Julia, how have you seen yourself grow since you got to campus? Reflecting back on your freshman year, now going into your sophomore year, you have 1 year under your belt on the court, but also just as a student athlete. What kind of growth have you seen in yourself?
Huge. I think the people around me make me better. I look at Kirsten and she's, mental health. That's really important to me now too. I would never think about that in high school. And on the court, it's so much faster game, and the coaches are always there to support you, and no matter what you need, and then they're you can get extra reps, I can help you with blocking, blah blah blah. It's a huge difference between last year and this year, and I'm excited for the season to come.
What can we expect from Washington Volleyball this upcoming season?
Big swings, big blocks, just faster offense. I'm ready to play. Get me on the court immediately. Same with the transfers and the freshmen. We are all so focused on the end goal, it's insane.
Yeah, I think we're definitely a team to watch because we have some really key players, and I think the way it's looking right now, it's going to be a really cool atmosphere and a really cool team to watch this year.
I can't wait to watch you guys. One last question. What's your favorite part about being a student athlete at Washington?
I think for me, just being able to have a community everywhere I go. Like when I go to academics, I have a community there. Athletics and volleyball, I have a community there. And then clubs and, extracurriculars, I always have like communities there. And I think, that builds you as a person, which is really important at this young of an age. So just being able to have so many groups to go to and people to lean on.
I would say the experience, like just traveling to new places, seeing new people, new gyms, like you don't get to do that in other conferences and other plays. Like the Big Ten is so amazing, and the connections you make along the way. Like I have my best friends on the team, and it's amazing.
Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day at Media Days. Good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Rick.